Jai Hind students, how are you? I hope you all must be fine and doing great, staying safe at your home. So today I'm going to start your poem from your literature book Flamingo, and the very first poem is My Mother at 66, written by Kamala Das. Okay. I have already discussed this poem with you in your Zoom session, but because you asked me to prepare a video on that, so that's why I'm preparing a video on the same. My Mother at 66. Before starting this, let me discuss with you about the poet, the poetess in fact, Kamala Das. Kamala Das, she was born in 1934 in Malabar, Kerala. She is recognized as one of India's foremost poets. Her works are known for their originality, versatility, and the indigenous flavor of the soil. When I was teaching you through Zoom classes, at that time also I described the meaning of foremost. Foremost means one of the best poets. Her works are known for their originality. Versatility means different sort of flavors are there, and indigenous flavor. Indigenous means the Indianness, the touch of Indianness in her writing is very much prominent. Kamala Das has published many novels and short stories in English and Malayalam under the name Madhavi Kutti. Madhavi Kutti was her pen name. Some of her works in English include the novel Alphabet of Lust, a collection of short stories, Padmavati the Harlot, and other stories, in addition to 5 books of poetry. She is a sensitive writer who captures the complex subtitles of human relationships in lyrical idiom. My Mother at 66 is an example. My Mother at 66, a very touching poem written by a very prolific poetess, Kamala Das. It is a touching poem that laments separation. Now, separation in which form? Separation because of death. It's not a temporary separation. The poetess is thinking about the permanent separation from her mother. An adult daughter, for the first time, accepts that her mother is no more young now. She sees the reality that rules life. We have traveled a long journey of life together, but here we separate. Kamala Suraya captures a picture of her mother in a significant moment of comprehension. The speaker, in a fast forward life, pauses for a moment to regard her mother with reference to time and space. The drive from home to Cochin also serves to illustrate the metaphor of journey as experience. The poem is indeed born out of love, as one observes the possessive pronoun my when the word mother is prefixed. The speaker's understanding of a mother at the age of 66 is indeed one of the enriched experience. It comes out of the speaker's individual maternal experience as with her own children, and also from the past when she was single. She could probably understand her better as mother now. The seemingly short poem touches upon the theme of the filial bond between the mother and daughter, smeared in the backdrop of nostalgia and fear. And nostalgia of what? Nostalgia of the past. The time spent with the mother, and fear of what? And the fear of the future without her. It is a poem on separation. It is a poem on death. Before starting the explanation of the poem, I would like to tell you about the rhyming scheme. As such, there is no rhyming scheme in the poem. It is written in free verse. The whole poem is in a single sentence punctuated by commas. That means the poetess has described her thoughts in one go without putting any full stop or any other punctuation marks except comma. So if you can see, the whole poem is not having any full stop or any punctuation marks except comma. Okay, so this poem is written in free verse. This poem talks about the complex human relationships. So let us begin the explanation of the poem. My Mother at 66 by Kamala Das. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. In these lines, the poet recalls the trip back to Cochin from her holiday in her parents' house the previous week. It was a Friday, and that morning she was driving with her mother next to her on the front seat. Beside me, next to me. Okay? Doors open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain. In these lines, the poet says that she was observing her mother, who had fallen asleep on the front seat with her mouth slightly open. Doze, doze means a short sleep in unconsciousness. When you become unconscious and you take a short sleep, you would have observed this while traveling to some places. In the bus or in the car, we often doze. We take a small nap and we lost all our consciousness at that point of time. So similarly, the poet's mother was sitting next to her and she was dozed. Her mouth was open and her face ashen like that of a corpse. Ashen means pale, yellow, without any shine, any brightness. So her mother's face was pale, and it reminded her of the nearly white faces of dead bodies. She is comparing her mother's face, ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain. She is comparing her mother's ashen like face with that of a corpse, and corpse means dead body. So she is comparing the white face of her mother with a dead body. It is then that she comes to realize that her mother was not young any longer, and realized with pain. If you can see this line, and realized with pain. What she realized with pain, that we will see in our second slide. Realized with pain that she was old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards. Now, when she was driving and looking at her mother's face, and she found her mother's face pale, just like a dead body, without any shine and sheen, at that time she comes to realize that her mother was not young any longer and that her appearance had caught up with her age. This was very hard for the poet to accept, and so she was determined to focus her attention on something else. She thought of diverting her mind looking at something else, and that's the reason she looked out of the car's window. In these lines, the poet says that she turned away from her aging mother and decided to look outside the windows of the car in which she was driving. Outside, her eyes fell on the trees that the vehicle was passing by. The car was moving so fast that by way of relative motion, it seemed to the poet that all the trees she could see were also running at full speed past her. It seemed that those trees must have been quite youthful if they had the energy to move at such a fast pace. The poet's eyes also fell on the children who were coming out of their houses, brimming over with their excitement to get outside. The poet passed all these sights and reached the airport. Now you can see here, there are few words which has been used. If you can see, trees sprinting. So what is the meaning of this word sprinting? Sprinting means shooting out of the ground and moving, running into the opposite direction. You would all have observed when you drive in a car, you move towards the forward direction, and when you see look outside of the window, you feel that the things which are outside of the window, car's window, they are moving towards the opposite direction in a very fast pace. So this means sprinting here. When the poet was looking outside of her car's window, she found that the trees, they are sprinting, that they are moving in opposite direction, they are running very fast in opposite direction. Similarly, the merry children spilling out of their homes. What does it mean, the merry children spilling? The merry children spilling means the children, merry means happy, the happy children who were full of vigor, vitality, energy, happiness, full of life. They were spilling. Spilling means they were coming out in a great number. They were pouring, they were coming out in a great number out of their homes, maybe for playing in a playground. So if you can see these lines, the poet has used a figure of speech of imagery. How? Because if you can remember the previous slide, I'll show you if it is possible. Yes, if you can see here, on the one hand, the poet is describing the death, decay, and the old age of her mother through these lines: doze, open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse. And on the other hand, the poetess is using a contrast here with the words, using the words trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out their homes. So on the one hand, the poet is talking about the old age. On the other hand, the poetess is talking about the young life full of happiness and energy. So, but after the airport security checks and finally they reached the airport. Airport you all know, is a very impersonal kind of a place where you have to go with a lot of checkings, showing your boarding pass, your luggage, your baggage. Okay, so while doing all these formalities for some time, the poetess forget about her mother's face. But after finishing all these formalities, when she again looked, standing a few yards, if you can see, who is standing a few yards away? The poetess mother, because she has come to see off poetess to the airport. So when she was looking after the security check, she was standing a short distance away from her mother, and again she chanced to notice the old woman. Just as before, her mother appeared very pale and insipid. As security check standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. So, just as before, she found her mother appeared very pale and insipid at the airport. Now, in these lines, the poet compares her mother's face with the sight of the moon on a night towards the end of winter. If you can see here, I looked again at her. Who looked? The poetess looked again at her mother. Wan means very dull, sick. Okay, uh, if you can if you would have observed the winter's moon, it is overshadowed by the fog and mist, and its shine is not that bright. It doesn't shine very bright. It's yellow, dull. Okay, so similarly her mother's face was also just like wan, pale as a late winter's moon. So she found her mother's face as the sight of the moon on a night towards the end of winter. This made her recall the thing she had been most afraid of during her childhood, the fear that her mother would die one day, the fear of separation. What was her childhood fear? Maybe in her childhood she might have experienced a temporary separation from her mother. But this time the separation is not going to be temporary. The poetess knew that, and that's why she was having that deep pain inside her heart. This was a fear that had plagued her many times before, and it was plaguing her again now. However, she did not let that fear show itself on her face. Instead, she put up a brave face and waved goodbye to her mother. She assured her mother that they would be seeing each other again soon. And all the while, even though she was in a great agony, the smile never left her face. The poetess was also having a kind of a guilt inside her because she won't be able to be with her old parents at this moment of time. Poetess might be having any obligations or any sort of obligations. It may be because of her marriage, or she might have some official work because of what she has to leave her old parents. So she was also having a guilt inside her that at this point of time she is not there with her aging parents. In the last line, if you can see, all I did was In the last lines, you can see all I did was smile and smile and smile. But this smile was a superficial smile, just to conceal the emotions of the poetess. She spoke no word to her mother. All that she said was, "See you soon, Amma," and bade goodbye to her mother with a hope to see her again. Whereas in her heart, she knew that maybe this is the last time she is seeing her mother. And if you can visualize this, if you can feel this separation of a child from a mother, how painful it is, with whom you have spent your entire life, who has taught you the if and buts of life. The separation from such a pillar is a very big loss to anyone. Okay, so this was all about our poem. Let us quickly recall the main points of the poem. The main points of the poem. The poetess traveling to Cochin airport with her mother in a car. Then what happens? She looks at the wan, pale face of her dozing mother. Old fear of losing her mother returns. Sprinting trees and merry children provide the contrast and relief. After the security check, the old familiar ache returns, tries to hide her emotions by smiling, bids goodbye to her mother with a hope to see her again. Now let us talk about the central idea of the poem. The central idea is of aging. Aging is an important phase of human life. A person enters his childhood, experiences youth when he is full of energy and dreams to have luxury of life. Finally, he approaches his old age and encounters death. Relationship between people becomes stronger at every aspect of life, and they can't be a separation due to aging. So this is the central idea of the poem My Mother at 66. Now let us move to the next slide. Poetic devices. So what are the few poetic devices used in this poem? If you can see on the screen, I have clearly prepared a PPT and mentioned what are the poetic devices used in this poem. Yesterday we had a discussion also in our Zoom class regarding this. So simile, and what is simile? It is the comparison of two things by using the word as or like. If you will find any word and comparison with the words as and like, then undoubtedly there is a figure of speech, that is simile. So here the poetess has used simile to make her writing more impressive and imbibing, that her face ashen like, if you can see the word here, see my mouse pointer here, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Corpse, I already told you, dead body, and her face was very much pale, very dull. There was no sheen on her face. So she compared her mother's face just with a dead body. And at another point also the poetess has used simile as a late winter's moon, when she was comparing her mother's face with late winter's moon. So here you can see the word like, and here you can see the word as. So that is why the poetic device which is used here is simile. Let us move to the another poetic device, that is metaphor. So metaphor, it is the direct comparison of two things without the use of as or like. This is also a comparison form only, but here we use as or like, but here we directly put that person onto that object. We do not use the words as or like. We directly make that person that the anything with we are doing the comparison. So if you can see, the merry children spilling. Spilling The married children spelling means the children, they were coming out in a great number. The third figure of speech used over here is personification. What is personification? When we give human characteristics to animals or plants or non-living things, that is called personification. So here, to whom we are giving the human characteristics? To the trees. If you can see trees sprinting. Can trees run? Can trees sprint? Can they move? No, trees cannot run. We are just giving them a human attribute. We are imaging this thing and we are giving them this attribute. So that is why personification, the poetic device personification, is used here. Now the next word is anaphora. Basically it is the repetition of a word or phrase to create a poetic effect in a poem. And in the last line of the poem you find that repetition of the words. All I did was smile and smile and smile. If you can see smile and smile and smile repeating 3 times. So that is why the poetic device which is used here is anaphora. You can also write repetition also for this. Okay. Next comes alliteration. Alliteration, you all know. You have been doing this from your class 9th. It is the repetition of the consonant sounds in a line of a poem. Example, my mother. If you can see the first letter consonant word sound, my, ma, and mother, ma. We have to go with the sound. Please do not go with the word. If you would have seen my and mm, you would have seen mm and you put alliteration. No, it is the repetition of the sounds. When we speak, the sound which comes, that should be similar. Okay, so my, ma, mother, ma. Okay, that, the, thought, the. Okay, so I said was see you soon. See you soon. You can see S, S, S repeating, right? So the poetic device which is used here is alliteration. Rhyming scheme. About rhyming scheme, I have already told you that it is a one single sentence and there is no rhyming scheme. It is written in free verse. It is written in free verse. So there is no rhyming scheme in any of the line or stanza. Okay. So these are the poetic devices used here. Also, the imagery used in the poem is suggestive of both death and youth. The image of young trees and married children are a contrast to the mother's dozing face. Okay, so imagery, a kind of a contrast, is created by the poet through those lines. Now, let us move to the next slide. Question answers I have already sent you in the form of PDF. You need to do it in your copy. You need to write the central idea of the poem and the poetic devices. If still there are any queries or any doubt, you can contact me at your doubt clearance time. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Have a very great learning. Thank you. See you soon.